we will try to go for a simple introduction about the new terms as well as the basic of cybersecurity. Okay. So, guys, may I know that how many of you are a student and a student here? You can raise your hand. And okay, we have few 4 5 members who are student, and that all of you are working professional or what? Okay, so we have 5 or 6 who are working professional. 5 or 6 are student. Then I hope that some of you are working professional and some of you are just fresher. Okay, okay, 2025 graduate. So it's a young batch. Okay. So during this session, we basically work on some project as well as we will learn some theoretical as well as practical concept related to our project. My name is Vasudev Jha, and I am working in cybersecurity from last 2 years. My core field is web APT and web application and mobile application security. Okay. And in Infotact solution, I am an external resource person. I'm not directly working with Infotact. Instead of that, I am working with some other organization, and here I am providing the training. Okay. So let's directly jump to the PPT. Okay, so this whole internship sessions or whatever sessions we are getting during this internship period, this will be uh, uh, interactive session. So all of you are free to ask any question at any time. Okay, I will try to give the answer. So we will start with introduction to cyber security. Voluntary, I would request you to give the answer. Okay, so the what you guys think? What is cyber security according to you? Yes, guys.
Provide a security to a cyberspace.
Okay. Any other ones to try?
Providing security to the information from unauthorized access or modification.
Okay.
So provide security to computer system networks and device related IT. Sir.
Okay. So, as like all of you are correct. Cybersecurity is all about the providing the security, but we need to understand that here we have a term. It is something related to a service, right? We are providing. So first thing you need to keep in your mind that it is not a one-time process, where it is an ongoing process. Okay, we cannot implement and forget. Okay, we need to work continuous. So let's start with very basic. Cybersecurity is a practice of protecting system, network, and program from digital attacks. Okay, so before moving deep, can anyone say that what is the basic difference between information security and cybersecurity? Okay, so let me tell. Basically, information security is a super domain where cyber security is a subdomain of information security. In information security, we have a responsibility to protect all kind of information, whether it is in a digital format or in a physical format. Okay, so it will involve multiple things like the physical access controls, okay, and the different kind of access and privilege. Where in cyber security, we only focus on the digital access. It may be our systems, which is our server, okay, or different kind of network and security devices. Then we have networks and the programs. Now, when it comes to data, so in cyber security, we basically have two types of data. Either the data will be in rest or data will be in motion. Okay, so we are basically securing these things. In information security, that is a complete different topic. Now, what is this system? I hope that you all know when when we are talking about system, it is like all the resource related to computation power. That is our system. Okay, it may be your servers, it will be your endpoint devices, anything. Then we have network. So network, the basic definition we have of network, the connection between two or more than two devices is a network, and we need to secure that. Okay, and in program, so what whatever the like codes we have. Okay, so suppose any website or web application or any kind of dashboard we are using. So in backend we have some codes, so we need to protect that. And here we are focusing on digital attack only. No physical attack, no the what we are natural disaster. It is not a responsibility in cyber security. We only focus on the digital attack. Now, how we are going to do that? It encompasses various technology, process, and practice designed to safeguard the sensitive information. So, when we are talking about the different kind of technologies, so we have network security technologies, then we have different kind of development technology, which provide the security on base. Okay. Then the processes and practice. In cybersecurity, we have concept of TTP. Okay, techniques and okay. So we are focusing on that here. Now, this is very important for everyone. As an organization, you need to understand what is cybersecurity and how we are going to implement it. As an individual, also, it is very important to understand. Okay, because nowadays it is not like that only organizations are being targeted. We have a number of cases where the end user or normal public is being targeted. Okay. Now, when we are talking about the security or providing the security, okay, so there must be a benefit. So for that we have CIA tribe. CIA tribe basically this is called as the three pillars of cyber security. Okay, so where like whether we have a web application, mobile application, or database or any network, we are basically focusing on these three things. If these three things are there, it means the system or the complete infrastructure is secure. First, we have confidentiality. Now, what does it mean? That data must be confidential. Okay, so only the legitimate user is able to see or use the data. Okay, so that is our confidentiality. Then we have integrity. Now, in first step, we are basically providing an end-to-end secure channel. Okay, suppose a database is there and an end user is there who is using a simple application. So he will get his information only. For example, on Facebook, okay, when you are clicking on profile, you are allowed to see your profile only. But in Facebook database, there are multiple profiles. You cannot see any other profile in your profile section, right? So because that profile data is confidential and only you are allowed with proper login credential, you are allowed to see the data. Then here it comes to integrity. Okay. So integrity simply means that the data must be in its original format. There is no any alteration or change between the transaction. Okay. For example, suppose you have sent a simple message, "Hello, how are you?" to your friend. Okay. So if your friend will see the same data, so the data is secure. Okay, the integrity is there. But by any chance, a malicious actor just alter the text, and your friend is saying that, okay, instead of how are you, who are you? Just simply a simple. He is changing how to who. So here we have integrity loss. Okay, so the data is being altered in this way. Now we have third and important thing, that is availability. So suppose you have a you have implemented proper competency and integrity concept. Now, due to that, sometimes your system may be that much complex that the real user is also not allowed or also not able to access that data. In this case, we have availability loss. Okay, so if this is there, so the whole we can say that the whole purpose is failed here, because we are providing security to the ongoing services. We are not closing the services. Okay. So the data must be available when it's required. That is our availability. So these are three pillars of cybersecurity. Basically, in cybersecurity, everywhere you will see this CIA tried. Okay. Now, whenever we have a attack, any kind of cyber attack, so we can observe that there must be a breakdown of one or more than one pillars. Okay. Either it will affect on your confidentiality or your integrity or your availability. And whenever we are talking about cybersecurity, it is not always about financial losses. It also related to reputation damage, okay, and the trust loss. These things we have. Okay, you all belongs to cybersecurity. Have you ever think why companies are focusing on cybersecurity? Because if you look closely, so companies are working for profit. But in cybersecurity, we are not generating revenue for the company. Right? Suppose there is a developer team. So they are developing the product or they are maintaining the service by which the company is getting some kind of profit. But the cybersecurity, basically, we are in cybersecurity, we are not directly but indirectly supporting to profit generation. Okay, how? Let me explain. Uh, Take example of any e-commerce platform. So everything is going properly, but there is a cyber attack in which some credit card data breach is there. Okay, so the first thing, user will lose the trust. There is no any direct financial cost to company. Now the data is being copied and sent to some remote location. Companies are not getting directly lost from this activity. Instead of that, what they are facing, now customer will lose trust from that specific service. So they will leave the service. So here you can see the due to trust issue, they are losing the consumers. Then whatever the stakeholder or investors are there, so they will also feel that now we are not secure in this organization, they will leave the organization. So this is how cyber uh, attack affects on the organization. Now we have some common type of cyber threats. We have malware. Okay, so malware is like any malicious code If we have any malicious code, that is malware. So any program with some malicious intention. Now in malware, we have multiple subcategories. Okay, so subcategories. According to the characteristic of the code, we are defining this. Take example of virus and all. So virus are malicious piece of code which attach itself to a host program, and the program will be executed, the virus will be executed. Now, if we do some alteration in the code and we will change the characteristic, we will create a self-replicating code. Now, that program can replicate itself and spread across the network. So that is a worm. Worm are not required to attach itself by a host. Okay. Then we have phishing attacks. In phishing, we have multiple types like spear phishing, whaling, sniffing. Okay. So according to the characteristic only, we are dividing the different class. Now, what is phishing? So phishing attacks deceive individual to revealing the sensitive information. Okay. So more on phishing is a part of social engineering. Okay. Social engineering, we have a simple definition that it is the art of human hacking, where we manipulate to reveal their personal and sensitive information. In phishing, basically we have multiple things. Suppose someone have created a fake Google login page and hosted. Now somehow he is redirecting traffic to their page, and people are providing the ID and password, and he is able to see all the ID and password. Okay, so these things comes under phishing. Sometimes we are getting uh, offer coupon and all in our email, and when we are clicking, we are redirected to another site. So we have lots of phishing example in day-to-day life. Then we have an example like DOS or DDoS attack. It's okay. So I in DOS, basically DOS stand for denial of service and DDoS stand for distributed denial of service. In DOS, what attacker are they are sending they are sending a flood of data packets to a target. Now suppose a server. Now the server will be busy to give the answer of that packet, and basically it is a single user. Okay, and it is consuming all the resources of the server. So server is not able for the legitimate people. Basically, we are directly hitting on the availability. In DDoS, which is distributed denial of service, basically attacker use a botnet. Okay, so a network of computers which are controlled by a single attacker machine. Now from multiple computers, attacker is starting the DOS attack. So when the DOS attack is distributed on multiple systems, it's a DDoS attack. In cybersecurity, we have some key concepts also like authentication. So it basically ensures the user who they claim to be, often through password or biometric data. Basically, authentication used to identify the people. Suppose if I am claiming that I am your trainer, so I must carry my ID card or anything. Okay, that will that will ensure or that will give a proof that yes, the whom I am pretending to be is me only. Then we have encryption. It protects data by transferring it into a coded format. Okay, basically it's a method to change the format of simple text into a cipher text. Okay, now we have a concept of key here. We have encryption key and decryption key. When you will go in more deep, you will find we have symmetric encryption and symmetric encryption, in which we are using multi-key system or single key system. Okay, we will learn these things in next classes also. And then we have different kind of network devices or security devices like firewalls. We have IDS, IPS. Okay, we have load balancers. These things. So basically, these things provide the security to network as well as they are helping in network maintenance. Now, these are like common concept or a basic intro about security. After this, we have something known as cybersecurity framework. Okay, here we have example of NIST CSF. Okay, so we need to understand what is a framework. Whenever you are dealing in cybersecurity, we have a complete concept of GRC. Okay, so whenever you are dealing with public data, so we have few things. First thing we have government, then we have multiple organizations. So what framework will do? Suppose we want to deal with some medical data, okay, or normal data. Don't take the example of normal data. So the data belongs to European people. So you must follow the GDPR, okay, which is the General Data Protection Regulation. It basically implemented in European. Okay, just give me a second. Okay. So in that case, there is a simple analogy understanding that the data belongs to the nation. Okay, every data belongs to a nation. So if you are dealing with the data belongs to the land of India or the nation of India, so you must follow the guidelines provided by Government of India. In India, we are widely using this NIST CSF or ISO 27001. So in these framework, we have different layers or different points that you need to implement. They are providing a statement and you need to fulfill that statement. Okay. So we have a regulatory policy. This framework will help you to fulfill the requirement of that regulatory policy. Okay. So cybersecurity frameworks provide you a structured guideline for managing and reducing the cyber risks. The NIST cybersecurity framework is widely used for, and it consists basically five core functions, which is your identify, detect, respond, and recover. Okay. Now, adopting a framework for organization to implement the best practice and improve their overall security posture. So, as you can see that here we have five core functions. In that core function, we have multiple sub functions. So, whenever we are dealing with the data or whenever we are in IT, so we need to adopt some of the frameworks according to our requirements. Okay. Then we have in cybersecurity, we have something risk management. It basically involves identifying, assessing, and prioritizing risks to minimize the potential impact. In risk management, okay, so risk is nothing but you can say that a probability of happening of any event. Okay, so in risk management, basically, we first thing we are identifying any threats, then we are assessing that. After that, we are prioritizing. So in identify, we have a complete domain for TI threat intelligence. Then in assessing, we have different kind of testing. Okay. By identify, you will be updated about new kinds of threats, and by assessing, you will get an idea that if that threat will be in our system and will be exploited, then what possible effects we need to face. Okay. After that, you will prioritize them because there is a limitation of resources, so we cannot work on each risk or each threat at the same time. So we are prioritizing them according to their characteristic, or we have different for that. Basically, we know them as CVS scores. Okay, common vulnerability scoring system. Yeah. And after that, we are working on that risks to minimize the potential impact. Now, for that, organizations should conduct the regular risk assessment to understand the vulnerability and threats. We have a concept of vulnerability assessment. In that, we are basically identifying the risk. We are combining vulnerability assessment with TI, and we are identifying what are the possible vulnerabilities or threats. Now, a well-defined risk management strategy involves proactive response to emerging cybersecurity challenges. Okay. Then in cybersecurity, we have policies and procedures. So establishing a clear cybersecurity policy is essential for guiding employee behavior and response to in- incident. Okay. First, let me clear what is policy. So basically, in organization, everyone is not too much aware about cybersecurity, and you cannot teach each individual because everyone is working in in some domain. Okay, they are expert in domain and they are using their all uh, knowledge to work good in their own domain. So we can create a policy, a robust rule that will be followed by everyone. Okay, by implementing these policy, we are basically minimizing the risks to that we are basically minimizing the one risk that is suppose a person in sales, so he is getting multiple mails in their official or organization mail ID. Now we will create a policy that no one is allowed to click on any link which comes in mailbox. Now that is a clear instruction. So if he want to, then also he is not allowed. Okay, so this policy. This is a simple example. In organization, we are not working like this basically. There we are mainly creating policies related to access control. Okay, and all. Then policy should address the data protection, acceptable user incident response, and employee training. In procedure, basically it is a instruction of working, how you will work. Okay, so that is our procedure. And regular reviewing and updating the policies help organization to ensure they remain effective against the evolving threats. So, as in starting, I have said that cybersecurity is an ongoing process where we need to work on daily basis. Now, let's understand the role of employee training. Basically, this is very important when you are working in an organization, that is employee training, because employees are often the first line of defense against cyber threats, making training crucial. What do you think? So, whenever you are working in security, so we have a concept of insider threat. Insider threat doesn't mean that any malicious person working inside your organization. It will also be any untrained person in your organization. Okay, a person who is not very much aware about these things, or is not aware about how internet works, he can be manipulated easily. So we need to go for a training, a regular training, so that everyone will be updated that what he needs to do or what he not. Okay. Now for this, we are conducting regular training sessions, like recognizing phishing attempts or other common attacks. Okay, and it will create a culture of security awareness and foster vigilance and responsible among all the employees. Okay, now let's see what are the emerging trends in cybersecurity. First, in the age of remote work, as now you can see that we all are working remotely. Okay, so sometimes we are sharing the information, okay, or we are delivering the content via internet. So there's a what we say there's a word in cybersecurity Nothing is secure on internet. Okay, so when we are more relying on internet, so we need more security here. Then the second thing, artificial intelligence and machine learning. Now nowadays also at quantum computing or the quantum computing power. So these things are very, you can say that these things are very dangerous when it comes to a malicious actor. Okay, because AI and machine learning, we can use this for prediction and analysis. Okay, so it don't have a like limitation. It can work across the limitation. Then we have concept of quantum computing and parallel computing. So I would love to share a uh, uh, research that in China, basically, you can also do the Google. In China. There is a researcher. So he claimed that, uh, yeah, he claimed that he just decrypted the RSA algorithm in 3 seconds with the help of quantum computing or parallel computing. You can say that. So RSA now, many of us are using that, or we believe that that is a very secure. Okay, but with the help of like quantum computing, it is it is like closer to us that in future we will see many of these algorithms are breaking. Okay. Also in cybersecurity, you can see that today we have a term that download now, decrypt later. So many of our organizations are downloading just the encrypted data in a hope that in future we will have that quantum computing power and we will decrypt these things. Okay, because everyone know if the quantum computing will come in market, so the organization will directly shift to a new algorithm, or we can say that the quantum encryption algorithm. Okay, so they are just downloading the data, so they can encrypt these in later. And we have the growth of IoT. Previously, we have only computers. Okay, then we are getting the internet access in mobile. Nowadays, like every device is connected to internet, starting from your mobile phone to the Alexa homes. Okay, then your watches. Nowadays, we have rings, we have smart glasses. Everything is connected through internet. So, and they have access of your physical data also. For example, your watch. It is monitoring on your health data, your day-to-day activity, your your home devices or home automation devices. They have multiple access of your house and your, okay. So we need to understand these things also. Then in conclusion and further discussion we have. So yes, cybersecurity is an ongoing process that must adopt new threats and technology advancement, and collaboration among organization, government, and individual is essential to strengthen overall security. And in last, we are staying informed about emerging threats and best practice is vital for maintaining the secure digital environment. So, guys, this is all about the introduction. Okay, in introduction, we have covered multiple aspects of cybersecurity. The in session, we will move towards our project and we will cover the topic related to the project. Okay, so any doubt or discussion you want, you can just unmute and speak. Okay, so I hope that everything is clear for today's session, or any question, anything that you want to discuss.
Sir, may I ask a question?
Yeah, sure.
Am I audible? Is my background is so noisy?
No, no, it's okay. You can ask a question.
Okay. First of all, sir, thank you, sir, for explaining that all things. Literally, you uh, remind us a very cluster care your explanation, sir. I want to ask that can we use any other operating system such as Linux or Unix for the cybersecurity attacks prevention?
Can you repeat your question?
My question was that, sir, can we use other operating system like Unix and Linux or Ubuntu for preventing our system or our organization from the cyber attacks?
Okay, great. So this is a good question. Now, when it comes to the choosing of right operating system, it all depends on your requirement. Okay, when
Okay,
you
sir.
are in the organization, you cannot switch. You cannot go for complete Linux environment because first thing you need to understand, Linux is not that much user friendly. So in your organization, there must be some person which are who are working in sales or HR. Okay,
Okay,
so
sir.
they are not very good in Linux. As a security persons, we are very familiar with Linux. Okay, we know all the commands.
Yes,
Then
sir.
there is like some compatibility. Suppose if you will give Linux to HR person, so he's not able to use Excel properly. So, but in when it comes to the security, so we are usually going with Ubuntu and Linux, Ubuntu and Kali. Okay, because Kali is very good for web apt. Ubuntu is very good for servers. Okay, when it comes to like proper server management, so we are going with the RHEL. Okay, in Red Hat distribution, we are going for that. So we have our requirement, and according to the requirement only, we are choosing the operating system. You are talking about Kali Linux. So Kali Linux is a full pack of basically the offensive security. Here you are getting all the resource to perform an attack. Okay, and in Linux distribution, it's a open source, so you can customize according to yourself. That's why in security we are using, but in organization we have some limitation that we cannot go for complete Linux environment, or we cannot go for complete window environment. We need to look for our requirement. According to that, we need to choose our operating system. Got it?
Okay, sir. Yes, yes, yes. I got it, sir. Thank you for that crystal clear explanation.
Okay, thank you. Any other doubt or discussion?
Hello, sir. I'm audible.
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir. You just explain about different types of attacks, sir.
Hmm.
So there will be in future, sir. There is any practical related how to perform attack on different targets, sir?
It all depend on your project. Okay, once I will look into your project. So
Okay.
if your project required some live demonstration of attack, but then also we cannot show you the real attack. Okay, instead of that, we are going to use the testing environment or the virtual environment. Okay,
Okay, sir.
because the first thing, these videos are uploaded on YouTube also. Okay, so you know the privacy policy of YouTube, privacy and security policy. I cannot share the proper hacking content there. Okay.
Okay, sir. Sir, can you share this PDF on our group?
You get the YouTube video. Okay. Or I will
Okay.
ask admin to share this material with you. Otherwise, you will get the YouTube video after each session. Okay.
Okay, okay. Thank you for explanation, sir.
So thank you guys. I'm winding up this session here.